I'd love to start there, Lupin. How concerned are you, as someone who focuses on the developing world, about a stronger dollar?
So the stronger dollar is an effect for emerging markets, which can be quite negative. But I think this time around, there are good reasons to think that, emerging markets are going to be a bit more sheltered than before. One of the key factors is what's driving the dollar strength. And part of that is this soft landing narrative in the US. So markets and the real economy that is a lot stronger than people had originally expected. And I think for emerging markets, that is really playing out in terms of where the growth outlook for EM is. It is slightly softer given the drag that we're seeing from China, but the strength from the US is keeping many EMs, particularly in LATAM, buoyed and growing stronger than they had expected.
So we'll get to that in a minute. I do want to touch on China, though, because that's kind of the elephant in the room, particularly for Southeast Asia. Mm-hmm. And it seems as though whatever message the Chinese Communist Party wants to put out there, the economy is struggling to perform, even with the expectations that have already been brought in. How much does it have a bleed-through effect that was unanticipated to the entire region and the debt and equities therein?
So I think China struggling is a concern, given that we are in a multipolar world right now. What is slightly different about this cycle is that it was expected to be a lot more services-driven, so a lot more internally focused than being driven by the manufacturing cycle, which would have the larger impact for the rest of EM and East Asia in particular. I think that what is different now is we're seeing the PPI deflation, and that can have an impact on prices going forward for EM in a positive sense, really continuing some of that disinflationary trend. But I do think that having a China that is weakening more than expected without government authorities really having a all-in type of narrative is quite negative for EM sentiment.